Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to a Tuesday edition of the Mark Moses Show as I'm broadcasting here from the beautiful Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Also want to give a shout out to Walk On Sports Bistreaux, great podcast partner of the show right there in Vieira, and our official What's on Tap sponsor. Yes, Chumley's Depot in downtown Melbourne where friends meet. And I know today is Tuesday. They will have karaoke tonight at Chumley's Depot. Let's bring on this fine gentleman. And I apologize. We were having video issues last week. Yes, we couldn't get him on, but he's on today. He is Alan Zlotorzyski with Brevard Sports Network. Alan, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Mark. Thanks for having me. Good to be seen.
It's good to see you, buddy. What's this shirt? Is that Holy Trinity? What do you have as a shirt on?
Yes, it's Holy Trinity shirt. And Holy Trinity. My man, Hurley Brown over there. Yeah. They do a great job.
Yeah, you look like you're a football coach with that on.
Right. I feel like one. Yes.
Yeah. We'll get to spring games. I know you got one more coming up later this week. But let's start with the NFL with Alan. All right. They pretty much approved it where players can compete in the Olympics for flag football, not now, a couple of years from now in Los Angeles. You cover all levels of football, high school, college, NFL. You do 7-on-7. You do Pee-wee. What are your thoughts on flag football as an Olympic sport with our NFL players?
I love it. I do. I guess maybe I'm one of the ones. Listen, this past year, Brevard County girls started playing flag football.
Yeah.
And as a spring sport. And, some of these teams had some success. We saw the West Shore girls nearly win a district championship this year. I think this sport, based on where we are in the NFL with the contact rules, I'll never live to see it. And I don't think the NFL would ever go completely contactless. But listen, I think a lot is on the line in these Olympics in terms of what the future holds for flag football for NFL players. Meaning, for example, could we potentially see an NFL flag football spring league? Now high school players, college players too, I'll add a lot of them. They sneak off and do this. They play in these 7-on-7 tournaments, right? I think these Olympic Games coming up, but there will be a lot on the line in terms of viewership. What type of money can this draw? If the NFL can look at this and see dollar signs, then they will see a league. You will see a day where we will have an NFL flag league, for a men's league. You already see it in the Pro Bowl, right? I mean, that's what the Pro Bowl is. Yeah. It's a flag game. And so if the Pro Bowl played the game the way it's supposed to be played, in terms of if they went out there and just lined up, say 4 teams, 2 from the NFC, 2 from the AFC, right? And they did a little round robin tournament for the weekend. Maybe that's what the Pro Bowl weekend needs to be: a skills competition and a flag football tournament, and played by normal rules. In other words, you can't score 10-point touchdowns, just normal point rules, and went out there and played competitive. I think people would have a lot of fun with it. I know I would enjoy it. I'm going to Miami. I'm going to Miami Beach the last weekend in June to broadcast. Yes, to broadcast a weekend of women's flag football.
Oh, well, that'd be cool, dude. Yeah. That's really awesome. Is it for different teams that are in the Miami area, or is it?
It's an all-star game between North Broward, South Broward, and some teams from all over South Florida. But it's a weekend of all-star festivities, and they reached out and asked if Brevard Sports Network would, if they put us up in a hotel in South Beach, would we paid us? Would we be willing to do it? And the answer to that question was an unequivocal yes.
You answered like you're Michael Jordan. When and where?
Yeah, yes. Look, just tell me when and where, right?
Is your colleague Caleb? Is he taking his talents to South Beach for this?
Caleb will be needed. Yes, he'll be there.
You better keep your eye on him.
I know.
Will he make? Okay, what time's the first game? 10 a.m. I'm sorry, Caleb's been out since 7 this morning.
Caleb has not yet come home. So when he gets home, what are you talking about, Caleb? I mean, I ain't been to South Beach in 3 or 4 years. You're talking about Caleb.
I'll be joining you for this. I never turned down a chance to go to Miami Beach. Okay,
there you go, man. There you go.
Well, here's the question then for flag football in the Olympics for the men. Okay, I know the women are going to go, and we're going to see what happens because we don't know. Look, maybe women's Brazil's team will be incredible. We don't know, but the men. If we're bringing NFL players, is this going to be like the '92 Olympics with the Dream Team, where we're just going to kill Angola and Japan? Like, what's going to happen exactly?
No, it won't be. It will not be like that. I mean, last summer we watched, some American youth football teams get hammered by a team from Austria in football, right? So, no. That happened. That happened.
Okay, so is flag football? Is it 11 on 11? Is that how you play it? Is it?
No, I think it's 7 on 7. Yeah.
All right, so we're bringing our best. The problem is it's not now. It's like 3 years.
Here's the other problem. It's a different game, Mark.
Yeah.
It's a lot of speed, and it's a different game. I don't, listen. It wouldn't shock me if there were a couple of countries out there that showed up and had speed and athleticism. 7 on 7 flag football is a game of speed and athleticism. And yeah, I don't know that we'll just dominate this.
Okay, will be the debate. Your brain says who's the best quarterback in football? You'd say Patrick Mahomes. No, but for this game, what you're saying, I'm not taking Mahomes. I'm taking your boy, number 8 for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm taking Lamar Jackson as my quarterback then, if it's off speed and athleticism. Would you do that?
Yeah, or maybe you take a guy that throws nothing but darts from the pocket. Maybe you take an older pocket passer, maybe an Aaron Rodgers, whose accuracy is through the roof.
Or, Joe Burrow.
Or
what?
Don't be surprised if it's not Tom Brady.
Oh, he comes out of retirement just to help out Team USA?
Why not?
All right, so if it's 7 on 7, I need some guys to block, right? You got to have 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah, I think you have 3 linemen or 2 linemen or whatever.
2 linemen, and then I need the 2 best wide receivers. You need a gunslinger. Ooh, do I have Tyreek Hill? Now I know he'll be washed up by then, by 28. But you need that type of wide receiver, don't you? For flag football.
You need speed. You need guys that can get open underneath. Like I said, you need the athleticism. You need good play calling. You need good play design. These guys just better not think they're going to show up from playing an entire season of NFL football and get together for a few weeks and go play, because it's not going to happen.
You know what this should be? Because I know you told me this last week. You're like, look, Mark, I'm almost at the finish line. And when I get to take the summer off and relax, it's Madden football on PlayStation for me. They should put this in the new Madden. There should be a mode where we get to see what Olympic, even though it's a couple years from now, Olympic flag football should be in the Madden video game, and we get to play it. I'd like to try that.
I think a lot of guys' worst fears in terms of 7 on 7 and 11 on 11 and flag football taking over are going to come absolutely true with this. I do. I think there's going to be a lot to this. I think this has the potential to be a big moneymaker, and it wouldn't shock me to see leagues sponsored by, if not called, the NFL Flag Football League down the line.
Do I have to play Iron Man football? I think that's the first question you ask if you're an NFL player. Do I have to play offense and defense?
Well, listen, I think if you want to put together a good team, I don't think you do that. I think, if you want a good team, then you go find guys that are cornerbacks and DBs to play, cornerbacks and DBs. Now, there is the position that matters the most in that game.
Yeah, it's a good point. Also, the injury concern scares the hell out of me.
Well, I can't remember who it was playing in a beach flag football. Thomas Jones, I think it was.
No. I can do this. Edwards. Yeah. Was that his name? Do you need to look this up?
Well, I will look it up. But listen, injuries are a concern in this because the athleticism and the speed. It can wrench the knees and the ankles, especially the ACLs, Mark.
Okay, I think his name was Robert Edwards. I could be wrong. You need to look it up. I know you're in front of a computer. I know this. They were getting ready for like the Pro Bowl or the Super Bowl, and he was in some type of, I know they were on the beach playing, and he blew out his knee, and he was never the same. It was Robert
Edwards, and it was he played for the Patriots, and there's an article here: a tragic end to a frolic on the beach. Yeah. So and that's what it was. But I mean, I've seen kids get hurt in 7-on-7, and it's not pretty the way an ankle or a leg can twist.
No, the most famous. This is gonna be really stupid. What I'm going to tell you. We're here at the Zlotorzyski Brevard Sports Network. Not that the most famous beach football game of all time will still be the scene in Point Break where with Keanu Reeves. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course.
The greatest scene because the movie's so ridiculous. So he's undercover as an FBI agent where he's trying to find the bank robbers who believes are surfers during the day. So he infiltrates these surfers led by the great Patrick Swayze. So they're playing beach football at night. And Keanu Reeves, a.k.a. Johnny Utah, the greatest name ever, tackles him into the water and a fight breaks. And then he goes, whoa, don't you know who this is? They're like, oh, who is this? This is former Ohio State quarterback, Johnny Utah.
Right.
So can you imagine? I always joke. Can you imagine like Tim Tebow? He gives up football to become an FBI agent undercover, thinking no one will know it's him. Like, no, he's infiltrating people.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because it's funny what inspires people, right? Like I asked Coach Darren Bolton over at Satellite, who's their volleyball coach. He's a big beach volleyball guy, right? And I said, back in the days when I was with Space Coast Daily, we put him in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And I said to him, what inspired you to want to play beach volleyball and grow this game? And his answer was Top Gun.
Oh, he went with Top Gun.
Yeah, that's what inspired him. That's what made him want to become a volleyball player.
I like it. I love the answer. So in that movie, there's two references here. So the first one, he's in the movie. He is a former Ohio State quarterback, and I think they lose like the Rose Bowl or something.
Right.
And he blows out his knee. Okay. The other one is for Florida people. So in the pilot for Miami Vice, Don Johnson's character says that he played wide receiver at the University of Florida, and like he was a big player there. And then he goes to Miami as an undercover narcotics agent. Wouldn't everyone know who he is?
Yeah, like that. Well, it was the 80s,
Yeah,
nobody watched the Gators in the 80s anyway.
There's no internet at the time. Can you imagine that? Oh, man, it makes me laugh so much. It really does. All right, that's flag football. We didn't get to do this last week because it came out last Wednesday. Your Baltimore Ravens. We need to do wins, losses.
All right, hit
2025.
Hit me with it, brother.
All right. I don't even know why they put the preseason schedule on list now. No one cares about the preseason.
Nope.
Say this. All right. We're going to go wins, losses officially. Everyone gets to do their team all summer long. Alan is up. Let's go to the schedule and see how he picks his Ravens for 2025. You start the season. Oh, man, you called this.
I did.
You did call this. Sunday night football at the Buffalo Bills. Win or loss, Alan?
That'll be a win.
All right. He's taking a win. That's a big game. I think I already know what you're going to say, but I'll do it anyway. Cleveland Browns in the home opener.
That's a win.
All right, that's a win. Then a big game, man, Monday Night Football. I believe you're at home against the Detroit Lions, win or loss.
That's a win.
Okay. Starting 3-0 on the season with Allen. Man, oh man. Then Sunday afternoon, 4:25 on CBS at Kansas City, win or loss.
Can't beat them.
All right, let's go with the loss. Hey, 3-1, it's not a bad start. Then at home, week 5, this is October 5th to start the month, Texans at home.
That'll be a win.
All right, I agree with that one. Then, man, you have a lot of home games here. Sunday, October 12th, 1 p.m. with the kick, Rams at home, win or loss.
I'll take the Rams.
All right, so you're going to take a loss there. Rams are good.
Yeah.
Bye week, then, here we go. 10:26, 1 o'clock with the kick, Bears at home, win or loss.
Come on, man. Ravens.
All right, win. You have, like, when you look at this, yeah, you have a 3-game homestead. Then you go on the road. You need to go to this, buddy. Thursday Night Football, the day before Halloween, at the Miami Dolphins, win or loss.
That's a win. We own the Dolphins.
Yeah, you should go to that. Then November 9th at Minnesota, win or loss.
In Minnesota, I'll go the Vikings in there.
All right, so you go with the loss. At Cleveland, Sunday, November 16th, 4:25 with the kick, win or loss.
I'm going to go loss.
All right, just going with the loss. Jets at home, win or loss.
Win.
We're here with Allen going over his Baltimore Ravens, wins or loss. Week 13, big game Thursday Night Football, Cincinnati at home.
Win.
Steelers, this is interesting. You play Steelers late in the season here.
Mm-hmm.
First time at 10:27. I'm sorry. December 7th, 1 o'clock with the kick at home, win or loss against the Steelers.
Win.
At the Bengals, 1 o'clock with the kick, December 14th, win or loss.
Loss.
Patriots at home.
Win.
Yeah, that's a win. At the Packers.
Loss.
And then you must end with the Steelers on the road, win or loss.
Win.
Okay, so you have, let's make sure we get your official pick right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you going 11-6? Is that the record? That's what you're going with. That's got to be a playoffs. Are you winning the division or a wild card?
No, that's a division. That's
Win
the
division.
That's
Now,
the AFC North.
All right, so you are going win the division, but I don't think you're going to be the 1 or 2 seed.
No, and therein lies the problem with the Baltimore Ravens. It's every year, with the exception of 2 years ago, where you get games along the way. See, when I look at the Ravens schedule, I try to find the games they should win but won't. I picked that second game at Cleveland. That's a game they should win. But whether it's at Cleveland, whether it's the game at Cleveland or whether it's the game at home against New England, the Ravens will find 1 or 2. Like, last year we lost to the Colts last year, or we lost to the Raiders last year. If you remember, we lost to the Raiders. We lost to the Browns. Jameis Winston beat us last year, I think it was. So the Ravens find a way. This should be a 14-3 team. Should be. I mean, it's that good. It will be that good again. But they will find a way to cough up 2 or 3 more games that will cost them the opportunity. And then Ravens fans will be crying in January, why can't we play at home against the Buffaloes and the Kansas? Because you don't win. We don't win those games.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Did you like, as a follow-up, after, again, Allen's going 11-6, winning the division, did you like where your running back, he got the extension and he got paid, Derrick Henry?
Yeah, more than that, I like the fact that extension, paid him up front. more than anything. And that extension opens up a little bit more salary cap room for the Ravens. Look, I'm not going to lie. The Ravens have had one serious injury so far this offseason. We lost our safety, one of our top safeties, our Darius Washington. But we had another great draft. We've got a ton of talent returning. You saw what it was like to have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in the backfield last year. As a Ravens fan, this whole frustrating part of this is, just having to go through the regular season again. A team with the veteran leadership like the Ravens can do this. They can go play 17 games during the regular season to get back to the playoffs. There's a lot of teams that can't handle that. You lose the way the Ravens have lost the last couple of years in the playoffs, and it eats at you. It gnaws at you. You don't need to look any further than, say, my Orioles, right? The Orioles were one of the best teams in baseball for the last 2 years. But if you look at how they lost in the playoffs, being a young team sometimes, that can hurt when you lose in the playoffs like that, and you can't get out of that. Luckily for the Ravens, they can. I think they will again this year. They should have beat Buffalo in Buffalo. Let's face it. It should have been the Ravens and the Chiefs playing in the AFC Championship game. It wasn't. I'm not making excuses, but we'll see.
Do you think you could pull off going to Miami on a Thursday night?
I don't want to go to Miami on a Thursday night.
You go,
there's nothing about making that trip that appeals to me at 55 years old.
Here's what's going to happen. You're going to try to pull it off. So you go to the game on a Thursday night. You go to sleep at 3:00 in the morning. You wake up. You drive back to Brevard to call some high school football game that Friday night. Yeah, I know they lost to the Dolphins a couple years ago on a Thursday night. I remember this. So that's a no for you. The last time you saw your Ravens, didn't you go up to Jacksonville and the Jaguars won? Is that what happened a couple years ago?
Yeah, that's right. That was one of the worst. We had that game in hand and gave it up.
I'm sorry. So
that's okay.
When's the last time, Alan, you were in Baltimore and saw your Ravens play? Ooh.
I saw them back in 2009.
Wow.
No, back in 2009. I was at the game. Ed Reed returned the interception against the Eagles for 100 yards, 110 yards or whatever it was. I think that was the last game I was at.
That is wild.
Yeah.
The last time I saw my Bears play in person, this is sad to say, 2011, the opener against Atlanta. I remember this. It was Julio Jones's first game in the NFL, and he was a stud. That's the last time I've seen at my home stadium. Now, where the Bears are going to play moving forward, I have no idea. Arlington Heights, the Moon, I'm not sure.
I've seen them here. I've seen them here 3 times. I've seen them twice in Jacksonville, both losses, and I saw them play in Tampa.
Oh, so now I understand. Now I get why. Right. I get it. All right, you don't know this. And I talked about this last Thursday, but I want to bring this up with Alan Zlotorzyski. So my brother puts my dad and I on FaceTime after the schedule gets released last Wednesday night. We're on FaceTime together. He's like, "Hey, I went to Indianapolis last year. I'm going to a game again." He goes, "We bought 4 tickets. You're meeting us in Cincinnati, Ohio. We are going to Bears at Bengals Sunday, November 2nd. We are going, buddy," because I vetoed. He wanted to go to Philadelphia on Black Friday. I'm like, no way. No way. I'm not getting a trash can thrown in my head or feces. I'm not going to Philly.
Let me tell you something. Get to Cincinnati if you can get to Cincinnati on like a Thursday, that's a fun town, man. Go down to Pete Rose Way.
Yeah.
Go across the bridge into Covington. Cincinnati is a fun town, man.
Have you been to a football game there at the bank?
I've been to, not at the new stadium, but I've been to Three Rivers tons of times. I stood on the sidelines one time for a Bengals Raiders game. Yeah, in which Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson were on the team.
That is awesome, dude. That really is. So, by the way, you're dating yourself. When was this? Late 80s, early 90s?
No, this was, yeah, I no, it wasn't the late 80s. It was later than that. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, man, that's a great town. Make sure you do it.
I looked at flights. So Orlando to Cincinnati in November, $120 round trip because
you fly into Covington, Kentucky.
That's right.
Yes, you fly into Covington, Kentucky, and yeah, it's a fun town, man. I listen, and then you got to go to Gold Star Chili, or you got to go. You get the 3 or 4 way. Plenty of time before you go. I got you back.
Okay, so I have to plan that. We're going to that. Okay, here's the other 2. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I want you to come with me. These are the 2 for college football. Now, look, you do a great job, the Brevard Sports Network, covering football games on Friday night. There are 2 Saturdays we got to go. I want you to come with me. You were talking about how you're going to Miami for flag football in June. And by the way, those games are going to be 900 degrees. Don't forget, on the field. I want us to go to Florida at Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. I want us to go to this game. It's in September. Hopefully it's a 7 p.m. kickoff at night. The look on your face says it all. I want to go that. And the other one I talked about, I think the game of the century is, I don't want to go to Florida, Georgia. I have to make sure I'm at the Swamp for Florida versus Texas. We have to go if I'm driving, you're coming with me. We have to go. Come on.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
1990 it was, Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen.
Because when you play Tecmo Bowl on Nintendo,
it was the 1990 season. My God, that's a long time ago.
Yes, it was, buddy. Is there a game, if you could choose a game on your Ravens schedule, a home game to go to? Would you go to a divisional game, or would it be cooler? I'm just looking at some of these games here. Would you go?
I'd want to be. You said a home game.
Yeah, a home game
this year. I would say I would probably want to be at that Detroit game.
I agree. Monday Night Football. Yeah. Monday Night Football games. I know they don't, for television purposes, I don't think they're as amazing as they used to be. But dude, I have been to a Monday Night Football game.
The problem with going to a nationally televised Monday or Sunday night game is you sit there for an inordinate amount of time for television timeouts. When you're home, you can get up and move about. But when you're in the stadium and you're sitting in the seat and that guy comes out with that stick that says 3 minutes and 30 seconds on it, it feels like it's forever.
You're absolutely right. You're not joking around, dude. So, all right, we're going to make sure we say this one more time. Alan does a great job. He is going 11-6 for his Ravens. Yes, and they're going to win the division, be right back in the playoffs, probably taking on Kansas City or Buffalo again. That's what's going to happen.
Find a way to screw it up, lose again.
Okay, before we finish with hockey, I want to do this with you real quick. Okay, you did some spring games, some jamborees, and what's the one game you got coming up that's left for spring football?
We got Holy Trinity coming up Friday night. How appropriate, I got the shirt on, right? Yeah. We got Holy Trinity coming up Friday night. This week and next week, we've already got, tonight I'll be down at Jimmy Hola's down the street, recapping the spring with all the head coaches. We got them all coming in, recapping their spring. I've got, I did the MCC game Friday night, and I'm going to say this. Their offense is a track meet, literally a track meet. 3 of the players on their offense were on their 4x100 track team, and it's MCC scored on the first or second play from scrimmage 3 times in this game. So,
okay, who's their quarterback then?
Brogan McNabb.
Is this some prospect we need to know about?
Yeah. You should definitely know about Brogan McNabb. He is probably If you look around the county, he is the guy. Last year it was Brady Hart coming in. This year it's Brogan McNabb.
I saw you guys posting about him, and you were showing him sling the football. I wanted you to give the official comment because I know you saw him in person. Hey,
Yeah.
Look, you know this. I don't care how many track stars you got wide receiver. Someone's got to get him the ball. I know it's cliche. Can you get them the ball? So say that one more time. When's your Holy Trinity game you got coming up?
Friday night, 5:00.
And then softball. Who do you have left?
Yeah, listen, congratulations to the O'Galley Commodores, Gabe Cartwright and his team over at Boomba Park in Longwood. They're going to be playing in the Final Four. They're going to face Fort Walton Beach Thursday. They win Thursday. They'll play for a state championship Friday night at 6:30.
And then you're done, aren't you? You're at the finish line. Dude, you've been going. I'm going to give you credit. If you think of the calendar school year, high school football starts before school even starts.
Yeah.
You've been going late July into August, and I know you took some time off during, Christmas holiday, as you should. I mean, you've been going long time, buddy. So congratulations on another season.
Yeah, we're taking about a month off. We'll put content up daily, certain things, but yeah, man, I'm excited. And then we really pretty much recycle it all again, starting in South Beach at the end of June.
Yeah, that is really cool. All right, speaking of South Florida, we'll end with hockey. That game 7, it's so fascinating because, and Alan's a big hockey guy, so I'm bringing this up with him. So the Panthers, in case you don't know this, they're at home for game 6. They're up 3-2. They could just, all right, we're going to win this game. We're going to move on. They lose 2-0 at home on their home ice. So you go back to Toronto, game 7, and you're thinking, all right, maybe this is it for Toronto. They could finally, destroy all the demons, move on, get the monkey off their back. No. They give up 6 goals. And did you see this stat? Toronto as a franchise has lost 7 straight game 7s now. 7 in a row.
And they won the first 2 games of the series.
So Florida had to win 4 out of 5.
Yeah, and so when you look at this, they call it maple leafing, is what it's called, because I don't have any other explanation for it. But listen, we could say when Seth Jones and I can't remember who else it was, Gadjevic, and then when they scored those 3 goals, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And that 6-1 in a row. I mean, 3-15, 7-18, 9-39 mark. The game's over at that point. This happens in the and remember, this wasn't a blowout in the first period. The first period ended 0-0.
Yeah, and okay, in the third period, so here's what happens. Toronto scores, it's 3-1. Okay, maybe there's some life here. Florida scores 45 seconds later. And then it's 4-1. It's over. This is incredible.
It's still hard for me to see a guy like Brad Marchand playing for the Florida Panthers, but I think it's a great pickup. Listen, I watched the Carolina Hurricanes absolutely decimate the Washington Capitals. Capitals were a very good hockey team this year, Mark. Very, very good hockey team. But, listen, Carolina's pretty good. Somebody asked me a couple weeks ago, they're like, what do you think of Carolina? I said, I've watched them. I don't know that there's anybody in the Eastern Conference. I don't know that the Panthers can beat them. I felt comfortable with Florida being able to beat Toronto. I don't have that feeling going into Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina's a fantastic team. And Carolina's got home ice. But look, with the Panthers, it doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't. So here's what they've done. These are the stats I want you to know. So they're going their 3rd straight conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
They've been played in the last 2 Stanley Cup finals. The craziest one is, let's say they beat the Hurricanes. They go to the NHL, the Stanley Cup finals, 3 straight years. The state of Florida then would go to 6 straight Stanley Cup finals. What?
And the last time my beloved brethren in Canada won a Stanley Cup was 1993.
Yeah, all right, so Stephen A. Smith, I'll give him credit. He made a joke saying they're the Dallas Cowboys of hockey, the Maple Leafs. But I'm like, no. At least the Cowboys won in the 1990s. Toronto hasn't won since the 1960s.
How about here's the thing, in the hockey world, they're talking about this, but obviously this isn't the hockey world. Yeah. Dallas beating Winnipeg is huge too. Winnipeg was the best team in the league this year.
So, I think I know the answer to this question. Who's the last President Cup trophy winner? So the best team in the regular season, it might be my Hawks, like over 10 years ago.
It is.
So what's weird with the sport is you don't want to be the best team in the regular season.
No, nobody wants to win the President's Cup. I remember the year the Capitals won it. They got beat in 5 games in round 1 by an 8 seed. It was despicable.
It happened to the Lightning. The Lightning broke a record for regular season and got killed by Columbus.
2012, 2013, Chicago Blackhawks. Last team to win the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup.
It's wild, dude. It's so crazy when you think about it.
Meanwhile, since then, the National Hockey League has had an 8 and 2 6s win the Stanley Cup in terms of seeds.
Yeah, I think Edmonton is going back, and I think they believe they're going to finish it this time.
I think Edmonton ends the Canadian drought this year. Connor McDavid, you watched him in the Four Corners. You watched him win the skills competition during the NHL thing that they had last year. The guy is he's the best hockey player on the planet, and you can literally see him put that team on his back. Very talented team at that, but I think Connor McDavid wills the Edmonton Oilers to a Stanley Cup this year.
I think it's going to be a rematch. I think it's Florida and Edmonton. That's my pick.
I hope you're right. Just so I hope you're right, but I fear it's going to be Carolina and Edmonton.
Before I let you go, the bonus. So in the NBA, we have a Final Four as well. How about this stat, Alan? We are going to have a 7th champion in 7 straight years. A new champion. No back-to-back. 7 straight years. That means there is parity in the NBA. Even though you're like, oh, we got these superstars, these mega teams, 7 in a row with a new champion.
Here's the magic question for you.
Okay.
No pun intended. Has any of those 7 teams come from the great state of Florida?
In the last 7 years? No.
There you go.
Last one. When did the Heat last win? 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won in 13. Yeah, 2013, Miami Heat with LeBron. The Heat went 2 years ago.
You are once again looking forward towards draft day in Orlando.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Look, you're not kidding around. I'm going to tell you this. Okay, so don't worry. I still represent.
There you go.
We were at Rockville. I didn't know what shirt to wear. And I'm like, look, I'm going to go there. I'm going to sweat nonstop. I'm going to smell like marijuana, beer. I didn't have any. It was so hot. I'm like, I'm not drinking any alcohol. I will pass out of it, like exhaustion. It'll be awful. But I knew going in, I'm going to be sweating. It's going to smell like drugs, alcohol, horrible food. And I was like, I'm going to wear something. It's going to get destroyed. I'm going to do it. So I wore my Blackhawk shirt to Rockville.
Why?
Dude, there were, and I have multiple Hawk shirts. They set a record, Alan, in 4 days. They had 220,000 people there at the Daytona Speedway. It broke the record, biggest rock festival in North American history. That's what happened, Alan.
Hey.
Everywhere I went, people, Blackhawk. Everywhere I went, people were making comments to me about.
Hey, here's the magic question: did you smell like beer and marijuana?
I did. Look, I had neither.
Look. Don't you get VIPs to these things?
Yes, I do. And dude,
yeah.
You've been with me to Speed Week.
Yeah.
You know, I am like, we got to get in, we got to get out. So at about 11:45 on Saturday night, I told MJ, I was like, we got to get the hell out of here. We got to get in the car and get back on 95 as fast as we can. And we did. Because remember, you and me that one time 10 years ago, we got stuck in such bad traffic. We had to, what did we do? We went west towards
Yeah,
Orlando.
we went over towards the other. We ended up driving past the other speedway.
Yeah. No, you're not kidding around.
We ended up in New Smyrna Beach.
We did. Because there was such bad traffic. Dude, I could not get over. I know. It's the worst. But I had fun. I did. You would have liked it. And I'm going to take you next year.
Okay, I'll go.
I'm going to do this. Yeah. People like coming with me. Free parking, free admission. Go with Mark. That's the key. So, Alan, before I let you go, what's your game? So I know no games now, but then you got the game Friday, correct?
Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity's left. And then check out all of our spring football recaps with all of the high school football coaches. We've already got them all scheduled. They're all coming in. I got 3 down there tonight. Come on down to Jimmy Ola's tonight. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. And, appreciate you, man.
I like we both have the same. I just noticed this. We both have the same Gator pennant behind us. I don't know if you see that.
$2.99. I got it. You know where I got it? Same place you did, down at the mall.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Alan, thanks for your help. Have a great day.
Thanks, buddy.